Hello out there to all wrestling fans around the world. I am the T-Money35, and I'm on the road tonight as I'm here to do my first YouTube review of a WWE pay-per-view. Now granted, I'm no Mitch Lightning, Schleg Daddy, Jared Drover, or a well-known member of the YWC, but I wanted to tell the world my thoughts on the last WWE pay-per-view of 2012. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to give you the rundown of the events card, my thoughts on the match or segment, and then I'll give you my final thoughts in the evening. With that being said, here we go. The show took place from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, USA. The theme song used was Just Another War by Yosi Scott, and the ringside commentators for the evening were Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and John Bradshaw Layfield. Before we saw the show's opening video and pyrotechniques, WWE rang the ringside bell 26 times in remembrance to those who were lost in the elementary school shootings in Connecticut this past Friday, and my thoughts and prayers continue to go out to those families who were affected by this horrible tragedy. In the YouTube free-for-all before the show, WWE contested a Santa's Helper's #1 Contenders Divas Battle Royal, say that 3 times fast, to see who would go on to face the champion Eve Torres later on in the evening for the WWE Divas Championship. The winner, to my surprise, was Naomi. I'm glad that she won, and I think she's got a bright future ahead of her, but I don't know if she's ready for a Divas title shot just yet. After Michael Cole welcomed us to the show, we were ready for our first match on the card, which was a #1 Contenders Tag Team Tables match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Rey Mysterio and Sid Cara versus the Team Rhodes Scholars. It was a great way to kick off the show as it showcased the strength of WWE's mid-card and where they're at today. It was an amazing, high-flying match that I'd say was the third best match of the night. The winners were Team Rhodes Scholars. Match number 2 of the evening was for the United States Championship. Antonio Cesaro versus R-Truth. This was a good match, probably not as good as the show's opener, but it was slightly above a TV quality match. Cesaro successfully retained his championship and went on to proclaim himself as the greatest United States champion in history. We then get this unannounced segment of Miz TV, and in the back of my mind I'm thinking, oh great, this is not going to go well, but I decided to give it a chance, and the moment 3MB came out, the show went from being pretty good to a total train wreck. They come out and announce that tomorrow night at the Slammy Awards, they will be performing their latest single. After a ridiculous and hypocritical moment with the Spanish announce team, I mean, this was completely ridiculous. You have 3MB come over and mock both Carlos Cabrera and Marcelo Rodriguez for not being American, yet 2 of the 3 members of your stable are from the countries of both Scotland and India? What a joke. Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez come out and apparently turn face? Okay. They then announced that later on tonight there will be an added little bonus of a 6-man tag team match. It will be between 3MB and The Miz, Alberto Del Rio, and the partner of their choosing. We Want Ryder chants immediately filled the arena. This whole segment was a complete and utter mess. I mean, why didn't WWE just save this segment for, I don't know, like, maybe Raw tomorrow night? Match 3 of the evening was contested for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, as the challenger, Wade Barrett, challenged the champion, Kofi Kingston. A little surprised that Kofi successfully retained, as I expected Barrett to win the match, but I'll be alright with this outcome. We then get a promo from the WWE Champion CM Punk, as he disses Brooklyn and goes on to talk about how he's the best in the world, and how he has nothing to do with the Shield. He would go on to say how scared Ryback is to face him, since he injured the champion before what was supposed to be their scheduled match that evening. Match number 4 of the evening was Daniel Bryan, Kane, and Ryback versus the Shield. Not only was this the match of the night, but I feel it was one of the 10 best matches of the entire year. The fall off the ladder that Seth Rollins did was without a doubt the oh my god moment of 2012. JBL said it best at the end of the match, we have just seen the future of the WWE. Despite how good this match was, there was one complaint that I have, and it's a big one. Earlier in the day, you had another big wrestling pay-per-view in the New York area. Final Battle, 36 minutes away from Brooklyn. And which particular organization was it that both Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan competed in before they made their debuts for WWE? Ring of Honor Wrestling. So why in the world was this match so high up on the card? You have one of the biggest wrestling cities within 40 minutes from each other, which means so many different wrestling fans from far and wide were in the area, and you have this match so high up on the card? This match should have been maybe the second to last match on the card, if not the main event. Great match, but wrong time played out. Match 5 was the payoff match from the YouTube free-for-all. The WWE Divas Championship match between Eva and Naomi. Before I get into this match, I just want to say one thing. You can call it whatever you want, but it will always be women's wrestling. Whether they'll be fighting as divas, knockouts, or whatever you pleasure. It will always be known, to me at least, as women's wrestling. I said earlier that I think Naomi has a bright future ahead of her, but I don't think that she's ready for a title bout just yet. The "We Want Caitlyn" chants during the match didn't help this cause any better. Decent contest nonetheless, as Eve successfully retained. The next contest was the world title match, a chairs contest between The Big Show and Sheamus. Once the bell rang, all bets were off with that no contact clause. It was a pretty good match with some great spots such as the white noise through 3 chairs and the giant chair that The Big Show used to retain his gold. Match 7 was a 6-man tag team match that was announced earlier in the evening. The only question that remained is, who was Miz and Del Rio's partner? Everyone, including myself, were all excited for the Miz and Del Rio to announce Zack Ryder as their partner. The anticipation was building, the excitement was looming, and the Miz and Alberto Del Rio announced that their tag team partner is the Brooklyn Brawler. Are you serious, bro? Being from Brooklyn is one thing, and I know Steve Lombardi works for WWE today as a road agent, but what's in the past is in the past. Zack Ryder is a new talent that fans love and want to see on TV. With all due respect to the Brooklyn Brawler, I think that having him in the match instead of Zack Ryder, and having this match being after both the world title and the TLC tag team matches is a joke. Especially with this being the final WWE pay-per-view of 2012. The winners of the match were Miz, Del Rio, and of course the Brooklyn Brawler. And now to the main event. We have a Money in the Bank ladder match for the SmackDown briefcase between the holder, Dolph Ziggler, and the challenger, John Cena. This was a pretty good match, and without a doubt the second best match of the night. I was concerned at one point when it looked like John Cena injured his eye. He appeared to be alright as he was obviously able to continue. But my one complaint about the match was that if it was billed as a ladder match, then how come there were inclusions of tables and chairs? If that was going to happen, then why didn't you just book it as a tables, ladders, and chairs match? Nonetheless, Vicky tried to help Dolph, and then we have probably the most talked about moment of the night, which was AJ Lee turning her back on John Cena to help Dolph Ziggler retain the briefcase. I'm not sure about this decision, but I guess we're all going to have to tune into the Slammy Awards on Raw to see what happens next. Final thoughts, this was overall a watchable pay-per-view that had its good and bad moments. I would have made the world title match, the 6-man TLC tag team, and the Money in the Bank ladder match the last 3 matches, but I still recommend the event for those who wish to order the replay or purchase the show on DVD. I give it a 6.5 on a scale of 10. The good of the show was the 6-man TLC tag team match and the majority of the outcome of the main event match between Dolph Ziggler and John Cena. The bad was the Brooklyn Brawler being the Miz and Del Rio's tag team partner instead of Zack Ryder, and the ugly was the 3MB Miz TV segment where they called out the Spanish announce team. Well, that concludes this review. What are your thoughts on WWE TLC? Tell me your comments down below and subscribe to this channel, and you can also follow me on both Tout and Keek at the TMoney35, and you can also follow me on Twitter at T_Hughes35. Till we meet again, folks, I am TMoney35. Peace on the streets, son!